Greetings, everyone.
Indeed. Welcome,
Andrew,
everyone.
Andrew here.
Ben here, and we have a very bittersweet mini episode for you guys today. So I'll let Andrew take it away.
Okay, guys, this is gonna be my last episode. I might. I mean, I think I told you this Ben a little while ago, but I'd probably be down to do a Superman review episode. But like that might be it. But I
hmm
might come on as a guest or something. But basically, I've just been going with this podcast for 9 years, never skipping a week. Uh, you know, except for Christmas and New Year's, like maybe 2 or 3 times a year where I'd skip it, but that's it. Every week other than that, have been going 9 years. Ben knows you've been going for 60
About
to
6 years.
75% of that time.
hmm
Yeah. Like when Ben joined, I had already done over 200 episodes with
hmm
Superhouse. So so like I had like that whole deal going on too. Um, and so I'd already been going for a few years before then. So it's just like, uh, I just feel like I need a break, and it's just been like I'm just getting started back with a job. I was without a job for a year and a half because of the Hollywood strikes, and now I'm somewhat busier than ever because this new job also involves some travel every now and again, not all the time, but
hmm
more than the last job, which was no travel at all. So yeah, I mean it is bittersweet. Ben, thank you for being here. You kind of brought the podcast to another level, and you know, it's been it's been a long ride. It's been 9 years. I couldn't quite make it to the decade mark. I mean, maybe I'll do some sparse ones just to like the Superman one, and then some others just to make it to a decade. But um, you know, uh, I think that's basically it. Man, it's just I got really burnt out, like as you can imagine, after 9 years,
hmm
like constantly, like we never missed.
hmm
We were very professional about that. Never missed a week. So yeah, I mean, it's been fun. I've had a lot of fun doing it. Um, I'll probably come back to podcasting eventually. I don't know in what form, but for now, I want to just take a break and kind of reassess things and, kind of go from there. It might be a different idea for a show, or maybe I'll do video essays. I don't know what'll happen,
hmm
but, you know, at the moment, I'm just getting my job in order, and we had some gaming guiding episodes like already in the can, so some of those might release
Yeah,
after
I
this.
saw
So
those.
if that gets weird, that was from a while ago. We
hmm
we had some of those in the chamber for like a long time.
hmm
Anyway, thanks everybody for the Patreon, uh, and everybody out there in YouTube land and TikTok and all the social media and all that. Um, it's been a long time, but I just felt like I needed to move on, and I wrestled with it for a long time. Long time. It was not a split decision. I'm
hmm
not the person to make impulse decisions. I'm the exact opposite, actually. I take a long time to make a decision, and that's just where I arrived at.
This is a sweet day for me too. Obviously, since we've been on this journey together for 6 years of superhero stuff, you should know. But before that, when you brought me on for stuff, so it's one where it's the end of an era for the show, but also one where like I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And I know you've got other ambitions outside of this podcast, with Metal Force and your movies and projects, and as your friend, of like, of course I'm going to support your decision on that, and I totally get it. But before we say goodbye, I thought I should, you know give one final bow out for you, one final send off, which is, you are and will always be, the founder of this podcast, and if you guys didn't know, Andrew named the show. So
Oh, right. Yeah.
yeah, and
I
uh,
forgot about that. That was like during the pandemic or something.
it was during the pandemic. You're just like, we
Yeah,
need a new name, and I'm like, you know what? That does make a lot of sense because people don't
yeah,
know what a super house is.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And moving forward, because some might be wondering, well, if Andrew's leaving, what's going to happen with the show? The show will continue forward. I'm not going to go too much into it because I want this to still be about you, um, and stuff. And so I will say that it doesn't really feel right for me to still have a super house part of it when that I know that's so you and
Oh
so
yeah,
from your
yeah, yeah,
background.
yeah.
So it'll probably still keep superhero stuff you should know, but the super house part I'll kind of retire with your
Well,
retirement.
yeah. That's been
Uh,
retired really for since it came on, to be
yeah.
honest with you. We wanted it there for brand recognition really,
Hmm.
so people could transfer over, but now, that
Yeah.
transfers well in the past.
I hear you. I hear you. I think too, though, one of the big things that I want to thank you for is you got me into podcasting. For
Oh
those
yeah.
who might have just jumped on recently and stuff. Andrew started it. You brought me on as the senior Batman correspondent in 2016, and I came every now and then, but it's really in 2019 where we started getting this going. And while you guys were hearing me, give my tutelage about Batman and all this type of stuff, Andrew was teaching me behind the scenes about podcasting. I learned so much about like stuff like learning the difference between when someone was on like the wrong audio input or like what a
Oh
local is,
yeah.
what software to use for recording, like
Yeah.
all the stuff I learned from you, what a good thumbnail would look like that was stuff that I had no clue about, um, that you brought
Yeah.
me into.
Yeah.
And on top of that too, like in the early days, even though there's some of the most popular episodes in early days, I wasn't as comfortable on the mic as I am now. And like you provided that comfort for me. You provided it's your experience at that time, about 3 or 4 years in that helped make me more comfortable on that. That got me a little bit used to doing that, and it kind of helped push me out of my shell a little bit more because I'm expressing myself in this public setting
Mm,
that's on the internet for all to see, and any word that we say is recorded for posterity, and so it can be very nerve wracking. But you help
yeah.
make it fun for me in a way that would have been nerve wracking for me in 2019 if I just tried to do this on my own. And those sketches we used to do, we still get some people asking us to bring those back.
Oh
But
man, I really loved doing that. That
yeah,
was so fun. I would like we just thought no one was listening to them, even though I thought they were awesome. I'd like to.
yeah,
That's one thing I could probably like. I return to just do sketches
hmm
or like that'll be my next idea or something. We begged people to animate them too for the longest time. We just got to do it ourselves, I
maybe
guess. But
someday. Yeah,
I think that's the only way to really make those
hmm
viral, like they
yeah,
and put them on
potentially.
TikTok.
Yeah, but I mean, they were good times. But yeah, they did take up a lot of time, especially after the episodes when we were already burned out from recording for like 2 hours, and you're like, okay, what's what's the idea this week? We don't want to
Dude.
do another Justice League recruitment one, so.
Oh, so in those early Superhouse days,
Hmm.
we would record 4 hour long episodes. And then we cut it down to like around 2 hours each time.
Hmm.
And then it got down to an hour and a half for a long time. That was about normal. That's about normal length for a podcast.
Hmm.
And then it went back up again when we were doing the sketches, and it was like a 3 hour session, right? Remember
Yeah,
that? It was like
yeah.
takes so long. But I mean, it was fun. When Zach was on, that was a good time too, and
Hmm.
we were kind of in our stride then. But
Yeah,
um,
fun times
yeah, yeah, it was a good time.
for sure.
God, it's just been rough with like the new job and everything, man, and just kind of getting used to everything. I mean, I'm glad I have a job, but
Hmm.
it's just been a lot going on. And yeah, Metal Force is another thing. I mean, I don't want to go into the details, but I'm very active in getting that done
Hmm.
still.
I know.
Yeah, so like um more on that later, I guess. www.metalforce.ninja is the website. Anyway,
Yeah.
check that out. Anyway, but
Yeah.
yeah, I got that going on. I have the job and everything else.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
It's a lot. It's a lot,
yeah,
and
it's
I
been a
understand.
lot. It's been a lot. Yeah,
I think we always knew this wasn't going to be something we'd do for the rest of our lives,
yeah,
either. When we did this, it worked for where we were at that period in time, and I think it's been one where you're at a different point now, and I'm at a different point now where I feel like continuing, but that's, not anything against you. This is kind of where I'm currently at, but I totally get
Yeah.
where you've been feeling, and I've also felt that pull or desire to be like, you know what, like if I didn't have the show, I'd have so much more time for this or that. I'd have so
Yeah.
much other stuff, and but at the same time, it's because of this show, that we got to have so many great experiences. Even with the sketches did lead to a lot of on the mic experience that led me to get asked to do all this Batman voice acting that I'm now
Oh
doing,
yeah.
where
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
we went from the silly sketches I did with you to now like, oh shit, I'm actually playing a dramatic version of Batman. But
Right.
that never would have happened because I never would have been asked, because I'm only mainly asked by people who've listened to the show. That never would have happened if you hadn't had that idea. If you had that idea, didn't have that idea for the sketches and had us do it, and you basically had me do on the mic training to go with it because I wasn't like itching to do improv sketches on the fly in the middle of this. I'm like, I'm just here to talk about Batman stuff, but okay, I'll try it out. But
Yeah.
again, it's an idea that you had, and you helped me get more comfortable with it, and now it's led to something uh more for me. I mean, more work for me, but it's led to more stuff for me that I
Man.
have you to thank for giving me the push to be like, yeah, like we can have fun with this. We can do different voices. We can play around with all that.
Yeah.
So
I'm proud of the sketches. I'm proud of the whole thing, but the
yeah,
sketches were
you should
one
be.
of the highlights
Yeah,
for sure.
they were probably some of the most fun we had on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
That and then we had, for you guys who don't know about our Patreon, I think we had Patreon specific sketches too. So it'd be
Oh
like two
yeah.
sketches
Yeah.
a
We
week.
did a we did s- we had
We were
like two sketches
insane.
per episode, right? Like in the
Yeah,
beginning and the middle for a long time. That was insane.
yeah.
I mean, I
How'd
liked
we
it,
do it? Yeah,
but yeah, man,
it's
it
a
is
lot.
bittersweet. That's the
Yeah,
word for this
memory.
episode.
Yeah, memory lane. But yeah, and in terms of the Patreon, like again, your idea. Let's do a Patreon tier. Yeah, we did another series. We did more episodes at that point, but like it brought us so much closer to some of our fans who are now like friends of ours. Gave us some extra time for fun. So like, look, this entire thing with you has been an incredible journey, man. It's been like so many highlights that we got to do together. We got to champion the original Batman Forever before this release, the Schumacher cut movement happened.
Yeah,
We beat that
yeah,
to the punch. We covered like so many Batman films that had come out. We debated Joker in 2019. We split a Max account for Zack Snyder's Justice League, and did like an entire summer's worth of Zack Snyder stuff. We did,
yeah.
we went into an advanced screening of the Batman in like front row with our necks hurting just to watch it for 3 hours. We
I
got to
forgot
see
about
Michael
how
Keaton come
close we
back.
were.
we just and then we also went from LA Comic Con seeing the panels together in 2012 to now like being on stage 12 years later in
Yeah,
2024's LA Comic Con. It's we've gotten to talk to so many different people too who have made our childhood movies, writers, actors, directors, concept artists. Tim Flattery, they formed our childhood movies. We never
well,
would have done it if you hadn't started this, if you had
you got
never
Sam
given me
Hamm's
the push.
interview. You got
Sam
you're
Hamm,
the
Daniel Waters.
and Daniel Water. That's very rare gets, right?
Yeah.
So
And The
like I
Bachelors.
look at that's another one of the highlights. I mean, the Bachelors they're all awesome, but it felt
Yeah.
like Sam Hamm especially was like a rare Pokemon. Like
Mhm.
it was like he doesn't do that much. And Daniel Waters too. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that was really cool. That was another one of the highlights for sure.
Yeah, those are some of our favorites, man. But yeah, if you had to start this, I would have never had those experiences. We would have never had those experiences. But if it comes down to your ideas, and I'm gonna do the best I can to honor that and continue some of the ideas that you have. One of the things that I definitely want to continue is, what are your ideas of having a charity drive, a charity read instead
Oh
of
yeah.
um, other things, because of the principle that fandom needs positivity rather than this toxic, like people who aren't following the examples of these characters. If you're going to be following superheroes, act like a superhero,
Yeah,
give,
yeah, yeah.
help other people, that stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought that was wonderful, and that's definitely carrying over, and I'll always
That's
cite you in
cool.
terms of that being your idea too. But overall, thanks, man. Thanks for getting me
Yeah.
in the journey. Thanks for walking it with me.
Well, thanks for bring it to the next level. I mean, like I said, we went for 3 years, 2016 to 2019.
Hmm.
We had like, you know, um, Matt Herring was like a super fan at
Hmm.
that time, and then a little smattering of fans. I mean, I don't know, but anyway, it was like a pretty low, and then you brought it to the next level once we got really into the niche Batman stuff,
Hmm.
and it took off from there. So yeah, you definitely brought it to the next level. And we spent 2020 doing the shit together, and through lockdown and shit.
In some ways, it got us through the pandemic. Like those were some of
Yeah,
the highlights of my entire week.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, if I ever like become a millionaire and like I can like I have like if I become a trust fund baby of some sort, I'll definitely come back to all this because I won't have to do any other job. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
but right now it's like again I know I said like 4 times already, but you go a
Hmm.
year and a half with no job. When you finally get one again in an industry that's sort of dying
Hmm.
or changing, I don't want to say it's not dying, but it's changing really fast. Like the film industry and tech industries at large, due to AI and everything else.
Hmm.
And I'm just trying to do everything I can to. I really have to focus on this shit
Hmm.
because I cannot go through what I went through.
Yeah.
Again. You know, I'm doing like extra training when I'm not at work and all kinds of shit. Like it is a fucking, I'm just going balls to the walls with this shit at the moment. And I mean, yeah, that's part of the reason why I felt like I had to kind of step down.
Hmm.
Well,
No,
the
I mean,
biggest part.
it's totally understandable, man. And
Yeah.
it's one that I think we're all going to miss you, and we all understand. So thank you for your
Thank you.
service.
Thank you. I'll come back as a guest at points, especially for James Gunn, Superman, and
Cool.
probably some others. But yeah.
Nice. Any
Thanks
last words,
everybody.
man?
Thank you everybody for being a part of this. Again, Patreon people, Discord people, uh, people on YouTube. Rest in peace, Matt Herring again.
Hmm.
Uh, and yeah, thank you, Ben. It's been a journey. It's not over entirely. It's just a little. It's just a respite for me. I don't know how long, but I
Hmm.
do see myself coming back eventually.
Mm.
So,
Nice.
in
Okay.
some form or another.
Nice.
So, um, thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Take care.